But I appreciate AJ sharing her words, and there's a lot to be said about humble beginnings. Um, Today, as I was driving here, I thought about just how I started off here in the community, living in the Six Flags area. I live a scream's distance from Six Flags, and there are a lot of thoughts that people have regarding that area of Cobb when they think of Cobb County. And I knew that I had the same dreams and aspirations that anyone had when they move into an area to live in a safe community, to live in an area they feel proud of, where they want to bring people to, and where they want others to feel like home in. And having lived in other areas of the county, I had lived in East Cobb briefly as a college student when my parents were here. And I had lived in West Cobb as a college student and finally made my way to South Cobb. I knew that we can do better as a whole. And I think that's the same way about the industry that you're getting ready to embark in. When I heard about the premise behind it and trying to introduce this field for others, this is a field that's for everyone, but sometimes you don't see that reflected, but yet the same opportunity is available to anyone that wants to step up and learn. And so while you may perceive that some doors may not be available to you, I think that those in the profession have recognized we need people of all backgrounds to be a part of this profession. And they opened up the door, just as I was looking for the doors of Cobb to be open to everyone. And so I want to thank all of our employers who are here today that thought of you when they were thinking of this program. I want to thank Cobb Works for thinking of you when they thought of this program, and particularly Donna Robinson, who called me and said, Lisa, I'm interested in apprenticeships. I know you're interested. I need you to write this letter of support. It was a no-brainer to do it. And it's great to see that move from being on paper to actually being a reality and seeing you here today. Now, I'm going to go back to my notes. But I certainly want to congratulate our graduates. And you guys have chosen to participate in this program at a very difficult time, not only within our nation, but in our world during a pandemic. It's hard enough to pump the brakes and say, you know what, I want to go back and get my education when things are okay, because you know of all the day-to-day stresses that you have. You've got to put food on the table. There are people depending on you. It's hard to sometimes get off of that hamster wheel that says keep going and doing the same thing that you're doing, because you need to take a step back to be able to move forward. But I can assure you that the decision you made here today is just the energy, that power that you need to propel yourself forward. I can speak about humble beginnings for myself. I was an engineer. I went to Georgia Tech. I grew up in Metro Detroit. I thought I was going to be working on cars for the rest of my life. My father and my mother came from another country. My mom didn't go to college. The only person who I knew that had a degree was my dad. He worked for Ford Motor Company. I said, I'm going to go work for automotive industry. And in my heart, I knew there were other things I wanted to do, but in front of me, I just saw what I saw. So I came down here to go to Georgia Tech and started on this path of engineering. And I had a supervisor say, Lisa, I know you're doing very well as an engineer at the time, but you're scoring very high on public service. Did you ever consider it? No, I didn't consider. I said that volunteering is something you kind of do on the side. And I think he put a seed of just consternation in me that said, maybe I'm called to do something different. And I didn't have somebody to go to help show me the way. So I ended up leaving my profession when I was at a crossroads if I was going to stay in Georgia or go work for the company I was with back in New York. And I was recently married. I didn't want to go back. And so I decided to go back to school. I had to humble myself. I ended up taking a job making very much lower wages than I made as an engineer. I was working as an assistant. My whole family thought I was crazy. How are you going to leave engineering? You're supposed to be on this fast track to success. And all I knew was there was something different. And so I went into a job and I was an administrative assistant. And all I was there to do in those meetings was be a fly on the wall. That's literally what I was when I went to meetings. You sit there, all my boss wanted me to do was take extensive notes. But I was in a meeting where I saw other civic leaders and I saw movers and shakers in the civic arena in Metro Atlanta. And I just started writing because that's what he wanted. But as I wrote and did what he wanted, I was actually learning. And I said, if I could do this at my job, I want to bring these people over here to the Six Flags area. So what I'm telling you is, by doing that and humbling myself, it opened doors for me to bring that to my community, where I ended up having a chance to run for office. Don't belittle small opportunities. You may be coming in as an apprentice, you may be coming in as an entry-level position, but you know the promise that's inside of you, or you will learn it and find it if you are willing to be vulnerable and open to the fact that you're called to something greater than what you were doing. And that, to me, is what you did by coming to be a part of this program. You could have continued doing what you were doing, but you saw something different for yourself and decided to step up. So I know great things are going to be in store for each and every one of you if you believe in yourself. So I thought about, how do you stay empowered? How do you power up beyond this program? Because there are a lot of people in this room that support you. And, you have the lunch, you have the cupcakes, you have the, I don't know what you call it, the silver doilies or decorations on your table. But what do you do when that's all gone? When you go back home and you're staring at the four walls and people are looking to you to help put food on the table or keep a roof over their head? What do you do when your environment is saying, you know what, it was kind of easy when you were staying where you were? How do you power up? For one thing, I just want to say, let's look at power up as an acronym and realize with P, just know the fact that you are present, that you are here is power. We are in COVID, right now we're in a pandemic. And I understand there's some of your classmates who could not complete this program because of the pandemic we're in. There are some people that applied to this program that didn't get in. So just by you being here is powerful, because somebody else could be sitting in your seat today. By the grace of God, go all of us. You don't know if it could have been you, your family that ended up getting COVID, but you're here. So the simple fact, when you wake up every day, when you put your feet on the floor, even if you're dog tired, the fact that you can feel tired is a blessing. The fact that you have feet that hit the floor is a blessing. It's empowering. And sometimes I have to remind myself of that, because when I wake up, I got two kids looking at me for something to eat and to get them ready for school. I got a dog looking at me and wondering I might take them outside. And I'm just like, I can't even start the day sometimes thinking about myself, but I have to reset and know I am here. I am here, and therefore, Lisa is going to be okay. So the next point I want to share with you in Power Up is, you're an overcomer. Look at all the things that you had to overcome. And I could say, I feel good today. I had a chance to do my hair. I had a chance to put on a suit that matches. I don't always look like this. Sometimes I come inside and if my shoes match, it's a great day, just because life really gets crazy. If you would have been listening, if you weren't talking, you would have heard my cars coming down these speed humps to get here on time. Sometimes you have to realize we all go through life. It's just crazy sometimes, but you're overcoming obstacles every day just to show up. And sometimes when you show up, people act like they don't even want you to be here. I get in the habit, I have to give my own self a round of applause just when I get to where I'm supposed to be, because I know the struggle I had to go through to get there. You know the struggle you had to get through just to be here, just to have shoes that match. You understand what I'm saying? Seriously, or to have shoes at all. Sometimes it's a struggle. People think, you just show up that way. No, I don't always show up that way. Maybe the suit I'm wearing was a suit somebody else gave me. Maybe the shoes I have might be a half size too small, because that's what I have today. People don't know what you overcome just to get in the room, but who knows? You know what you have to overcome to get in the room. So don't let anybody take that away from you. Sometimes you feel like you're walking and people are sizing you up because you didn't come in as everybody else did. No, but you know what you're working with when you got there. And the fact, again, that you're present is power enough. W, empower. Know that you're well supported. Look at all the people who are here. They didn't have to be here. Look at all these people from WorkSource Cobb who are here. AJ CEO, PAR CEO was here addressing you today. Another one of our commissioners were here. You have many instructors who invested themselves, employers who are here. You are not alone. And I have to tell you this because the real is that when you get into spaces where sometimes people don't look like you and they haven't gone through what you've been through, you feel alone. I feel alone. When I served on the Board of Commissioners for the 8 years, I was the only of so many different things. The only African American. I was the youngest person on the board. The only person from South Cobb, which is the area that doesn't seem to reflect all of Cobb County. I was the only Democrat. Sometimes I felt alone, but I had to realize I didn't get to my position by myself. I was voted in. Many people put me in that seat. So even though I'm sitting there on the dais by myself, I'm not ever by myself. And even when I walk in a room by myself, I'm not ever by myself, because I know who put me there, know who puts you in your position, know who helped you to get there. They're still riding with you, even though they are not with you. And even if you need somebody to call on, I'm sure there's one person. Everybody might not answer your call because life is just life in the way that it is. But I'm sure one person here will answer a call or email. And just recognize they're people like you. If they don't, you don't know what they're going through. So be persistent too. You know, sometimes we think if somebody isn't right there for us when we want them to be there for us, they're not for us. And that's not necessarily the case. Sometimes life just gets to all of us. But no, today you are well supported. A lot of people funded this program. You are in a building that was a vision of President Addie Mathis. I remember speaking with her several years ago when I was running for office, and this was a vision of hers. You know, a lot of people invested in you being here today. So no, you are well supported. Empowered, you are educated. You are experienced, and I love the fact that Commissioner Sheffield talked about that. You are coming in with a skill set that a lot of people don't have. A lot of people are leaving the profession of skilled trades. You know, so many things are going towards IT and IS, but you know what? There's got to be some type of infrastructure to put that all into. You know, people that want to sit there and be on the computer, they would like to sit in some nice AC, wouldn't they? You know, they would probably get thirsty every now and then. They would like some water coming through, some clean, fresh pipes that somebody laid. At the end of the day, the work that you invest yourself in is always going to have to be done. So even though you might see things moving ahead technology-wise, there are still some basic things that are always going to be core of how we function as a society. And you've invested yourself in a core profession. And I'm not saying to dismiss technology, because you'll be amazed at how technology helps people in those core skilled trades. But still know that the skill set that you are gaining is going to be one that's always going to be in high demand. R is one that I heard John Hilton talk about with Atlanta Career Rise, is that you've been responsible. You've been responsive, you answered the call, and you've been responsible. So no matter how somebody again might try to discount you, you've been responsible. You showed up to this program when you didn't probably feel like it. You showed up when you didn't have it all, you know, may not felt like being here, or may have felt like you didn't have it all together, but you still showed up. That's what we do at work every day. We show up. I was feeling bad, to be honest, I was feeling bad about my Board of Commissioners meeting yesterday. I just moved this past weekend. I told somebody, you know, I'm living out of boxes right now. They might see clothes I'm wearing. I never wear this full suit, but it just is what it is. I put on what I can find. But, you know, sometimes I show up and I don't have everything together. But part of being responsible for one is showing up and being present and doing what you can before the chaos comes. If I would have waited till the night before to always be ready, then sometimes I would never be ready. But it's the work that you do every day. It's being responsible every day. And even some days you might feel like you might not cut it. It's not just what you do in that moment, it's what you've done for every moment to get you to that moment. So, you know, there was an author who wrote something about making up your bed in the morning and how that helps to set your day. I mean, there's really an art and a craft to doing basic things responsibly every day. When you make sure your children get on that bus on time, when you pay your bills, when you are doing things that make you responsible, all that adds into how you are responsible when you show up for work. It's your personal life. It's that personal day-to-day responsibility that helps you get it together. So just in that moment, know that you, by the fact that you're there, by the fact that you're present, by the fact that you've overcome, by the fact that somebody helped you, you are well supported, by the fact that you were educated enough to be in the room, has helped to make you be a responsible person. So you are ready. You have that power. And I love the up part, because I thought, you know, I'm going to use that as you are uniquely purposed to do what you came here to do. You might be a welder and there might be 10 other welders, but nobody's going to weld like you and show up like you do. How do you show up differently? You might show up And you might have the same skill set, but nobody has the same attitude that you have. Nobody's going to be positive like you are. Nobody's going to be the same team player that you are. Nobody's going to be thoughtful like you. Nobody's going to be able to be as creative as you. Nobody's going to be able to interject humor as you do. Nobody's going to be able to be a listener as you. Not everybody has all of that, but we each bring something special to the table when we show up. So think about your unique purpose when you come to the table, and think about that as you power up. You have a unique purpose that you bring whenever you show up. And I also like the word up because sometimes you always have to look up. As I shared with you, not every day is going to be a bed of roses. I assure you that you're going to have great days. You're going to have phenomenal days, but you're going to have some days where people are like, what the heck did I just do? Or why am I doing this? You're going to have you might have some, even if you have a great employer, and I pray that you do, you might have some employees that get on your last. So what are you going to do? Are you going to stoop to their level, or are you going to surpass that occasion and understand you are there with unique purpose? Because I'll be honest, we all go through things through work every day. It's not easy for any one of us. Black, white, top of the totem pole, bottom of the totem pole. If you're in the technical sector, if you're in the administrative front, if somebody has a manager behind their name, we're all sometimes in the middle of a smush sandwich. And I could use another word besides smush, but we all have our moments. What are you going to do? Be positive. I mean, attitude goes such a long way. Just look up. You can be that beacon of light. Anytime that somebody comes in the room, it's a choice that we all make. And even if you didn't make that choice when you walked in the room, for that next minute or that next 5 minutes or that next 10 minutes, it's a continual series of choices. Sometimes I show up and I'm not one of these fake it until I make it people. Like, if I'm not happy, I'm not happy. You're going to know it. But I'm not going to stay miserable. At some point, I'm going to get past it. Nobody's asking you to fake anything, but we are asking you to think about the unique role and responsibility that you have to the environment that you're in. So even if you do have a bad day, the way that you come in there helps to set the stage, not just for you, but for those around you. And I assure you, when you bring positivity with you, or you make that the end goal of even a tough challenge, you can go as far high as you can perceive you can go. I've had some very rough days as a commissioner. I still have rough days. We just lost Major League Baseball. Can you believe that? I was supposed to be here in Cobb County, but you know what? As much as it was a tough circumstance for Cobb County, we are going to overcome it, not because of what happened in that moment, but what's been going on for this series of moments. Cobb County was positioned to get a Major League Baseball team and game for a reason, because we're always a great place for commerce. We're always a great place for recreation. So am I going to stay down because I'm frustrated? I'm going to continue to look up and see the opportunity that Cobb County had before the game and that we're going to have after the game. I want you to always look up. Today's a great day to help get you started. I see a lot of gifts before you. I see these bags. I see the cupcakes. I see gifts over here that look like they cost a pretty penny. People are investing in you today. If anything, use today as some of that energy to think positively about all the positive investment that people are making into you. And know again that you are not alone. You are present. You are an overcomer. You are well supported. You are educated, and you have been responsive and responsible. And all you have to do is look up. You are uniquely purposed to be where you are today, and you're going to help take us far. You are important to us. Why am I here? Yes, I was asked to be here, but I'm here because the better you do, the better Cobb County does. Every person is important to Cobb County's economic vitality. If you do well, that means that you are going to be a positive force in our community, and you never know who's looking at you, and you never know what industries are depending on you when you walk through the door. So I'm so grateful to be here, to be a part of this moment, and I want to tell you to please continue to power up, and you'll be amazed at how many doors open before you. Thank you. Appreciate it.